Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today, and we are back for some more racing action once again as we arrive for round 3 of the season for the Chinese Grand Prix. If you guys missed round 2 at Bahrain, you can go watch it by clicking the link in the top right hand corner of the screen before we jump into any spoilers. But today we are here at the Shanghai International Circuit, and you can see on the screen we have no rain expected this weekend, which is fantastic. A nice dry race weekend, and along with that we are still yet to make any upgrades, and it seems like the AI are also waiting on their upgrades as well. So far there's been no movement in terms of the R&D on any team so far, so we're kind of waiting to see who's going to be the first one to make a move or make something happen. And us personally, we are going to try and buy some upgrades in this episode, and hopefully they'll arrive for the Spanish Grand Prix in 2 weeks time. But for now we're going to focus on practice here this weekend at China, and straight away the car was working pretty well once again, and it's actually quite an enjoyable car to drive. However, again, as we've seen in the last couple of races, we're a pretty poor one-lap car. We're very good on Sundays, but the one-lap pace on Saturday isn't quite there, at least for me anyway, compared to Sainz. We do lack a bit of one-lap pace, and I'm trying to put a bit of a solution on that, if you will, and I'm struggling to find that exact solution so far. And this weekend kind of showed me again that, at least after practice, we do seem to be lacking a little bit of one-lap pace again. So we're going to try and fix that going into qualifying here today, and hopefully we can try and do better. Try and maybe get to the top 10. That'd be pretty good. We've struggled to get ourselves into the top 10 in the first 2 races so far. In Bahrain, in the last race, we got 13th, I believe, in qualifying. There is Charles Leclerc, one of the main championship contenders this season. And, the driver lineups are so strong this year. You've got Leclerc and Magnussen in Williams, really quick combination. And then at Racing Point, you've got Perez and Hamilton as well, which, they're such strong AI drivers in terms of their overall pace. And then you've got Ricciardo and Gasly in Alfa Romeo. You've got us and Sainz in McLaren. It's just so competitive. Verstappen and Russell and Red Bull, it's all just so close and so, closely contested, really. So it's going to make for a very exciting season, I think, and multiple championship contenders. But we're going to move into qualifying, and we're going to see how we got on. Now, in this short qualifying session, we're going to go for 3 runs in this one. So this was my first one, and to be honest with you, I was actually surprised. This was right up there. It was a really strong lap, and when I crossed the line, I thought to myself, you know what, there's not much more time I can find on that. That was a really strong lap, and we crossed the line. You can see there we actually go first briefly, then Bottas knocks us off first place, and it wasn't a really flawless lap. It was near almost there, but not many mistakes. However, on my second attempt I improved massively. I found a lot of time through turn 5, and again I kept on pushing on this lap. You can see here we're still a tenth and a half up, but I found a bit more time through this little left-right chicane going onto the banking, and I just kept on pushing, to be honest with you, and the car kept on getting faster and faster. I think track conditions also improved, and you can see here through the final corner we are going to improve by nearly 0.3 of a second, and a really strong lap. We actually get into the 127s, which was my target, and we get 8th place there into the top 10. But even then, I surprised myself even more. As I got into the final run, we was even quicker. So let's run on board for a full lap here of the Shanghai International Circuit as we go onto the pit straight, making our way down towards turn 1. You want to try and pick up a late apex going into turn 2. So you want to try and focus on the gears here. Really important to time the downshifts at the right time to get the nose turn in without losing the back end and slipping, and drifting wide, if you will. As we go through turn 3 now, trying to pick the traction nice and early, and we get a fantastic exit and find almost 1/10 of a second as Verstappen sets a really low 127. Now braking hard towards turn 5. Really good apex there, just about getting the car slowed down on the power quickly on the exit and making up a bit more lap time. And so far, 10th and a half up, this is absolutely perfect as we now go into the fast left and right, using the gears again to really make sure we maximise each corner, keeping it nice and tight for the long right and then open up the next left, which is where I lose a lot of time compared to the AI. Just touching the curb there on the exit, which is not what you want to be doing, but I got away with it, managed to get some decent traction out of there, and we're 2/10 up as we now brake late into this left-right chicane again, towards the end of sector 2, into the start of sector 3, throwing the car over the banking on the right-hander here, and trying to get it to the lowest part of the track to really maximise the lap time as we crank up the engine to overtake mode, and we're now going to wait to open the DRS.
30 seconds left in the session.
As we open up DRS on this absolutely massive back straight, and we're now making our way down towards the hairpin here, looking for the 100-meter border as your reference, down to first gear, try and get the apex and then quickly back on the throttle on the exit, and we actually have a pretty decent sector 3 as we've not lost no time so far, and now into the final corner, throwing the car in 5th gear, using all the track available to us, and opening up DRS one last time as we cross the line and improve by 0.2 of a second, and we get ourselves into a 127.7, and that gives us 7th place at the time behind Sainz, but eventually others would improve elsewhere, including Carlos Sainz, who got P5, but Leclerc setting the pace at 126.8, the only man below a 127, really strong pace from Charles Leclerc, but I'm happy with that one, to be honest with you. That's one of them sessions where I can say we completely maximise the lap, and we wouldn't have got no more pace out of the car if we tried. So really happy, and it is going to be only 9th place unfortunately, but still top 10, and hopefully we can make something happen and turn it around on strategy in the race tomorrow. But overall, as ever, qualifying here today at Shanghai, and we're now going to move into the race for round 3 of the season, and hopefully we can try and score some big points. Let's jump into it.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles an hour, with DRS assisting the cars down the back straight before they brake into the sharp hairpin at turn 14. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant. And tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz and Russell, Gasly, Martinez, Vettel and Lando Norris, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Daniel Kvyat and Albon, Magnussen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen and Roman Grosjean. Stroll and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, so here we are then on the grid for the Chinese Grand Prix, starting from 8th place on the 4th row of the grid, and hopefully we can have a decent race. And the race pace, I'm kind of hoping, is stronger than the one-lap pace, which it has been so far in the first 2 races, so I'm hoping for more of the same. In terms of the race strategy, we are going to start the race on the soft tyres that we qualified on, and then we're going to run 2 sets of mediums. Now, according to the in-game strategy, apparently tyre wear is going to be almost non-existent, and we can apparently one-stop with the softs onto the mediums. I highly doubt that around China, but you know, we'll see how we go after 3 or 4 laps on the softs, and we'll see if that's true or not. Either way, in principle, I'm going to try and 2-stop this race because I feel like it is the quickest strategy. And in terms of fuel, we're going to run 0.6 laps more, so not a lot more, and a relatively light car. And the target is simple, really. I want to try and go for a top 5 finish, maybe even a podium, possibly, if we get our strategy right. But overall, I just want to have a decent race and score some decent points. So let's jump into it and let's see how we get on here for round number 3 of the season for the Chinese Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's try and get a good start here as we get ready for the 5 red lights at Shanghai. Lights out and away we go. Not a bad start, not great, but we are going to hold on to P8 into turn 1, which is important. We're going to have the inside line as well through turn 2. We are going to get on the inside of Pierre Gasly here. Gasly giving me a bit of contact there, a bit of a squeeze. But we are going to make the move on the Alfa Romeo driver as we go around the outside. Can we make it? Yes, we do. Up to P7, really good run on the outside there, getting the momentum. Got to look Russell and Sainz in front of us here going side by side. We're just sitting behind. I can't really make a move because the track is too narrow for us to really make it 3 wide, but Sainz on the inside, he should take that, and he does. And that relegates Russell to P6, so let's try and get past George Russell here and make it a McLaren 5-6 early on, which would be fantastic for us. And it'll kind of summarise where we are in the table. There we go. Those 2 corners there, I suffer so much. The AI are so good at traction, whereas I'm absolutely awful through there getting the rear grip. But we've stayed close to Russell here. Might have a chance. We'll get to see what the McLaren straight line speed is like as we get a decent exit onto the banking. Let's have a look. So no DRS just yet. Looks like we are lacking a bit of speed at the moment. As we make our way, we're fully on the limiter here, and we're pretty much equal for straight line speed as we go into the hairpin. A little bit cautious on the brakes there. I'm not going to overcommit just yet. We'll start pushing in a minute. The AI tend to turn their engines down after 1.5, 2 laps, and that's when the opportunity will arrive. But this is a good start so far, and the tyres are working well. Let's get our head down now, push on. Looks like the Racing Points are going side by side here, and they're battling away. Sainz is getting involved, as DRS will now be available, so this could be interesting.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone. A new strategy is available on the MFD. Understood, copy that.
Lap 9, that's a long way to go on soft tyres, but that's an interesting one. The team's saying, you know, that could be a one-stop maybe for mediums, so I might respect it. Let's have a look at the tyres. This is interesting, because my tyres do look pretty knackered. As we've got guys looking for a move here, so I have to run deep. And we go around the outside and hold on, but there we go. This is interesting. I'm not gonna... I'm not really sure what to do. I'm really caught in two minds as to what strategy will be the good one. I feel like if we pit in now, we'll get lots of clean air and be able to push with the medium tyre, but this tyre does still feel good. You know, I'm not overheating it, which is important as well. At least I don't think I am. If I check my front left, okay, it is overheating a little bit, so... I don't know what to do. I'm really not sure. I think I'm going to pit.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Roll of the dice. No one's pitting in out the leaders. And I think we'll get a nice bit of clean air as well on track to push with the fresh tyres. So we are going to go for the mediums. We're going to try the two-stop here today. It's just, I don't trust my tyres with overheating. We can't match the AI's pace with overheating tyres.
Go now.
Not a best stop, 2.2. I was quite slow, but like I said, I don't trust myself. I don't think we can match the AI's pace with overheating tyres.
Strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
The AI have this thing where they just seem to be able to not overheat their tyres or drive at a pace that, you know, it doesn't indicate that they're having any issues with overheating, whereas I do. So we're going to go for our own strategy. The mediums will not overheat and there'll be a much better race tyre. I can push flat out on these every single lap and not have to worry. So let's just give it some and let's see where we finish at the end of the race. Sainz pits in. That could be a sign, you know, if nobody else is pitting, this McLaren just isn't that good in his tyres. Either way, we're going to see where he is and whether we can potentially undercut Carlos. He's going for soft tyres again. Well, no, he's going for mediums actually, so he hasn't changed his tyres yet. So Carlos on mediums, let's see where he is. Have we gained any ground? Looks like Leclerc's pit as well. And here is Carlos. It's going to be close, but he's going to be just in front of us. But we are going to have the benefit of nice warm tyres, so we are going to just slip through very easily on the inside and make the move for 19th and overtake our teammates. So the undercut has paid off. And we're probably going to be on the exact same strategy on the two-stopper, so head down. We've got to push now. Still got a long way to go in this race. We've got a few cars in the pit lane once again. So we're setting good pace here. We're kind of matching our personal best. There's a Racing Point on the hard tyres, so potentially going to the end of the race. Interesting strategy there from Perez. He's going to be slow as well. We are going to get pretty close. Oh, I had a look, but no way through. You closed the door on me there. That Racing Point struggling for grip out the pit lane on those hard tyres. Can we have a go at him here? Possibly. Oh, that car's got so much acceleration. It's so good on the straights. We can't, unfortunately. We do get very close. Let's see if we can keep the pressure on, though. Maybe get him on the back straight. We should be faster in theory. Our tyres are a little bit worn, but not majorly, so I should still have the edge when it comes to performance. Right, there should be an overtake here if we just get a nice clean run through this section and through the banking. Keep it nice and low. Now we go flat out. Here we go, cranking up the engine. Hopefully Sainz can get past as well. But let's try and get past Sergio Perez in the Racing Point. Here we go, DRS now. We're struggling to even get anywhere near him. Now we're starting to pull him in a bit as we go to the inside. Bit of contact there on the braking, but we make the move. Job done, we get past and up into 15th place. Verstappen up next in the Red Bull, also on the hard tyres, so quite a few one-stoppers it seems in principle. A couple more cars leaving the pit exit. It's going to be close. There's the Red Bull. I'm going to go around the outside. Long way around. Not much grip out there. And there's Hamilton in the Racing Point, also on hard tyres. So the undercut has kind of worked. Only thing is these guys are not going. They're going to the end, whereas we're not. We're going to go around the outside of Lewis here. We've got the grip. We've got the momentum. Hamilton shoves me off wide onto the gravel. Not very nice there from Lewis. So he'll stay in front for now, but we'll try and do the exact same move we did on Perez and get him on the back straight. Right, once again, let's keep it nice and tidy through here. And we should be able to get the run on Lewis. Not as close as we were with Perez out the banking, but it doesn't matter. We should be still well within range to get past him in the Racing Point. Hopefully Sainz can make some progress as well. Here we go, we're gaining. Look at that, we're only barely making up enough ground to have a look. Down the inside on the brakes, letting go of the brake a little bit on the entry to pull alongside, and we make the move on Hamilton, so there we go. Now, do we have the pace to catch after Verstappen possibly? He's also, like I said, on the hard tyres, so let's try and hunt him down. Currently in P13. It's a good race so far. The top teams, Red Bull, Racing Point, Williams, McLaren, all scrapping it out, it seems. Magnussen set the pace though, he's behind us, so he's already done a stop and he's actually rejoined further back. So let's keep going. Pace seems good at the minute. Let's see if we can try and drop these guys and pull out the DRS range. That would be ideal. Pace is good. Lewis is still within a second. He's just hanging in there, but we're starting to open up a gap now. We're going to start hitting the midfield runners who are all on medium tyres now. So this can make the race really interesting. And it could change the way the race goes. You know, we get through traffic quite quickly. Starting to run a bit low on the RS here, as we're starting to catch up to the cars in front. Stroll's just been overtaken by Verstappen, or trying to anyway. Looks like they're still side by side. I think the medium tyres are a really good race tyre. I think the hard's a bit too hard for this circuit, and I think they might be struggling for pace a little bit. But we're making good progress. Look at this massive train of cars. This is my opportunity now to make something happen. So let's try and get past some of these guys in short order and try and make quick progress. Okay, so we're now tucked in behind these guys. I'm now in fuel and ERS saving mode for a little bit, just because I want to try and get some fuel and ERS back on target. But it's important to get past as many of these guys as possible, because they're all on the same strategy as me. They've all only got one stop left, like ourselves. So that's the thing with the two-stopping. You've got to make progress. So we need to use the traffic and try and use it to leapfrog Verstappen and get past even more cars. So kind of hope my tyres hold on here. I'm going to have a lap, or at least half a lap, until we get to the back straight, where I'm going to try and save fuel in the RS to the full, and then we're going to push on. Right, here we go. We're within range. Managed to get quite a bit of fuel back on target. We're going to make some progress now and try and get past before, you know, we potentially fall victim to Hamilton. I wonder if we get a double overtake. I don't think we can. I think the Haas might have the RS off of the Red Bull. If it doesn't, it could happen. Here we go. We're gaining full power. Looks like the Haas does have DRS, unfortunately, but we are getting a mega slipstream here. We're going to just sit back. I'm going to have a look on the inside. Can we get past? We're close. I'm kind of boxed in at the minute. I've got nowhere to go. Into the final corner. Let's get a little swoosh back going. Oh, that was close. We just avoid contact with our front wing, but we get past.
We pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
Good double overtake there. We avoided the contact ever so slightly. Stroll came out, like literally, he stuck to the racing line and then he swung back across my path. We just avoided the contact. But that is critical. We can now push on. Let's get after Verstappen, who's stuck in a massive 4 or 5 car scrap here. Verstappen's losing a lot of time here. He's trying to get a move on. Getting past Ricciardo. He's run a bit deep. There's a bit of contact. We're going to get a big switch back here. Absolutely massive. We're going to get underneath both of them. There we go. That's the medium tyre paying dividends for us, but Verstappen's got the run of me here. I'm going to try and stick in the slipstream of Raikkonen and use that to stay in front. Look at that Red Bull though. It's just got so much power. I'm going to hold it on the outside though. I'm going to try and go very late on the brakes and carry a lot of speed around the outside. And we are going to get the traction, the better racing line, and we get in front of Verstappen just as some of these guys pit. Giovinazzi pits in, Raikkonen stays out. We are going to get DRS on Kimi here, so let's try and get some momentum. Lots of cars pitting off the medium tyre. I'm going to back off from Kimi here. I'm going to try and get him into turn 2. Try and get on the inside if we can. A little bit of contact, but we'll take it. There we go. And we're through. Crucial move. Now we've got to use Kimi to pull away from Verstappen. We need a strong lap here before Kimi pits. Let's try and push now. Really, really important. A few more cars pit. That's going to leave Charles Leclerc out front in the Williams, leading the race. As we take second place. Leclerc on mediums as well. Remember, he's on the same strategy as us, so he's not got away too far, but he's probably got more pace than me anyway. Looks like Verstappen's pit. No, he's been overtaken by Hamilton, maybe. So that's good. They're battling behind us, which is good. They're losing time, and they're going to the end. So they could be battling for ages, for all we know. This is important for us now. We've got to keep pushing, opening up that gap, because we are going to pit in, I believe, this or the next lap. Oh, Roman Grosjean out in the Haas. If that triggered a VSC, that'd be beautiful, because I'm pitting this lap. I don't think it will, though. It would have been triggered by now. Right then, through the hairpin. Good stint, good couple of laps. Leclerc pits and we're going to follow him in. We're going to go for our final stops. Let's attack this pit entry quite a bit. Push the limits and then get it all slowed down. There we go, that'll do. Sainz pits as well, which isn't ideal. We need a quick stop.
Carlos is in the pits.
Come on boys, it has to be a quick turnaround because Sainz is going to get held up. Come on, here we go.
Go, go, go.
Right, we're away. Sainz might have a little bit of a hold up there, but we're going to move on anyway. Hopefully there's not much traffic. It's going to be close. There's a lot of cars. This is going to be close. There's going to be a lot of traffic. Oh, side by side with Kvyat. We're going to just have the inside line. We're going to take it. There we go. And just rejoin in front of Danny Kvyat there. All these guys are on hard tyres. They're going to be so vulnerable. I've got so much more traction than Albon here, but we're lacking acceleration. Down towards turn 5. I thought about going down the inside there, but I'm just going to sit back for now. Try and get a switch back. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Come on, let's try and go around the outside here. Let's try and send one. Come on, McLaren. Come on. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Good move. Getting straight to work, getting stuck in, wasting no time. We need to get into clean air and use these fresh medium tyres. Right then, onto the back straight we go. Let's get ready for this. Let's try and stay nice and tight to these guys. I've actually got a bit of a switchback on Bottas here. We're actually going to slip through on the inside. Side by side, there's a bit of contact mid-corner as I scrub wide. We're going to share the slipstream as we make our way towards the hairpin. I've got the better line though, and we're going to get the run on Hulkenberg. Can we get a double overtake done here? Here we go down the inside. Late one on the brakes, but an easy one. And we make the move up to 8th place. Job done. Lando Norris up next. Let's go hunt him down. Really good out lap though, getting past absolutely everybody straight away, wasting no time. Good lap from us, 31.0. Leclerc just did a 30.6, so 4 tenths quicker than me. I think he had DRS on the back straight, but either way I think he's got a bit more pace than me. So we're not racing Leclerc, of course. But we've got a couple of cars. We've got Norris and the Ferrari up the road. Let's try and get past them. At the minute, Magnussen and Sainz, they're struggling. You can see they're on the pit straight. They're way behind. And probably not going to score any points. Right, here we go. We're within range of Lando Norris's DRS. Let's try and get past the Haas driver and progress up to 6th place. I haven't really got any rich mix to use. I've only got overtake, but that should do the trick. We're barely gaining though at the minute. We might not be close enough. There's not enough straight. I'm going to just set up a switch back on him at the hairpin instead. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Alongside. Another switchback incoming to the final corner. Now we turn it up, DRS. I'm going to use a little bit of rich mix. Turn 1. Around the outside. Lando Norris is trying to hang in there. He's pushing me wide. But we are going to do it around the outside, no questions asked. Job done. Up to P7 we go. Let's hunt after Sebastian Vettel for 6th place. Right, we're going to try and get past Sebastian Vettel here. I've got a lot more pace, a lot more grip. I've had a lap to kind of charge up the ERS and get the fuel back on target because I was quite low. But there should be a fairly straightforward pass on the Ferrari. Good performance from Sebastian Vettel in a car that's, I believe, bottom 2, but that's going to come to an end now as we're going to snatch away 6th place from him. We're still struggling for straight line speed though to really make a difference as we now pull alongside the Ferrari. We really don't have the straight line speed. That's something we've got to work on, hopefully, in the engine department moving forward. But we do get the job done. And up to P6. I think at best we're going to finish P5 and potentially get past Russell. But even then, I think that's a bit too much of a stretch. I think it's going to be P6 today as our finishing position in this race. Right, here we are then on the back straight. Just pushing now for the last bit. Giving everything, not giving up until the end. Verstappen, though, is going to win for Red Bull. And pick up their first win of the season. Even though they've not been the quickest car on track. They still have a quick car DNA. I mean, that's the same reason why Sebastian Vettel was 7th in the second worst car. Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull are still quick cars overall. But overall, a decent race for us. And we come home P6. I'll take that. Good points.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Red Bull pulling out all the stops today. What a great win. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Right, so looking at the final race results here today, Max Verstappen wins his first race of the season for Red Bull. Charles Leclerc managed to recover the second place on the two-stop strategy. Perez third, and running off the podium ahead of Hamilton in fourth and Russell in P5. We come home in P6 ahead of Sebastian Vettel, Lando Norris, Nico Hülkenberg and Carlos Sainz scoring the final point in the end there. Good job from him to score that point ahead of Bottas, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, Albon, Stroll, Raikkonen, Gasly, Magnussen, who finished last of the classified runners. I believe he had some kind of incident, and Grosjean retiring from the Grand Prix here today. In terms of what that race means for the driver standings, you can see that Leclerc leads by 5 points over Sergio Perez, and then 21 points clear of Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen with that win leapfrogs all the way up to 4th place, overtaking George Russell, myself and Carlos Sainz. And speaking of us, McLaren looking pretty good there, and 6th and 7th, a decent amount of points for us. But at the minute you can see Williams, Red Bull, Racing Point and McLaren command the top 8 and the other top 4 teams in F1. As you can see, Red Bull overtake us for 3rd place unfortunately, and we dropped to 4th. Racing Point on 100 points already, and Williams in 2nd, and that top 4 is looking very, very aggressive, and those 4 are going to be the teams I think going forward this season who could challenge. Red Bull need to improve, and so do we, and we're going to do that right now by moving into the laptop and improving the McLaren, because we need some engine power and also a bit of front downforce, I feel like. So we're going to look at the laptop and look at the options we have available to us, and we're going to try and get some upgrades on as soon as possible. Okay, so here we are then on the laptop, and we have a couple of upgrades we can make, as we have 3,500 points to spend, and straight away we are going to invest in the engine. And there is an ultimate one available for the ERS, but that's not really going to help us out in terms of straight line speed performance. But these two are, and they're only minor ones, but it means we will get them on the car for the next race, which is absolutely fine by me, and that will help us out around Baku, which is an engine power circuit. We're going to add to that though, because we have other options. So I would get aerodynamics, and I would try and put this major one on for Catalunya, but the chassis needs a bit more work. So we are going to buy this one here for the brakes, and hopefully that will help us out, because I do notice sometimes we do struggle under braking for certain corners, and I want to see if we have enough to still buy this one here on the aero. And no, we don't. It's 1,300 points, so we are going to save those 1,000 points, and we'll invest those in the next episode at the end of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like and get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me, and also finally check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.